Hello everyone. Today we will discuss Module 5 Part 1, that is event handling. Under this topic we will discuss what do you mean by event, how event will be generated, what do you mean by event source, what do you mean by event listeners, what are the different types of event sources are present, and what do you mean by event delegation model, how to use event delegation model to implement keyboard and mouse events. So first we'll discuss what do you mean by the delegation event model. Under this topic we'll discuss what do you mean by event, what do you mean by event sources, what do you mean by event listeners. So first we'll discuss what do you mean by event. An event is an object that describes the state change in a source, that indicates that when a particular object is pressed, I mean to say keyboard or mouse, the state of that object will change. That is described as event. It can be generated as a consequence of a person interacting with the element in a graphical user interface. In a graphical user interface, you may click on button. Again, that is nothing but one event, state change of state with respect to the object. Object is nothing button. So some of the examples for events: say pressing a button, the state of that button will change. Entering a character via keyboard, the state of that key will be changed. Selecting an item in the list and clicking the mouse. These are the examples for the events. So next, event sources. So event source is nothing but object which generates the different types of event. A source is an object that generates an event. The source may generate more than one type of event. That indicates that there is no rule a particular object must generate only one type of event. It can generate more than one type of event. Each type of event has its own registration method. That indicates that when a particular event will be generated, it must be notified. For this notification, we need to register that event. So some of the example. So before that, so general form, say public void add type listener el. So this is how we can register a particular event. So here one example: add key listener, that register the event generated by the keyboard. Add motion listener, so this registration method will notify when a event generated with respect to motion of the mouse or movement of the mouse. So the registered method can be unregistered also. So by writing, say remove a type of the event, say remove key listener. So general form is public void remove type listener. Event listener, so a listener is an object that is notified when an event is occurred. That indicates that when a particular object generates event, that will be notified. That notification task will be done by the event listeners. So it has two major requirements with respect to event listener. So it must have been registered with one or more sources to receive notification about a specific event. First method is registration. When a particular event is registered, that will be notified by the event listener. Second, it must be implement method to receive and process this notification. That indicates that when a particular event generated, so what to do with that notification. So that part must be implemented and processed. So some of the event sources: so button, checkbox, choice, list, menu, scroll bar, text component, window, mouse, keyboard, so and so. If I take one example, say types of event with respect to window, say when a window is activated, closed, deactivated, or opened, quit. So these are the different types of event with respect to window. Or if I take example of mouse, moving a mouse, dragging a mouse, right click, left click, wheel movement, these are the types of the event which is generated by a source called mouse. So now to implement these events, there are different types of classes which is in Java. So first is a mouse event class. So this class is designed to implement all the event generated by the mouse. So first here we listed different types of event generated by the mouse. Mouse clicked. When a mouse is clicked, event will be generated. Mouse dragged. Mouse entered into a particular component. Mouse exited from the particular component. Mouse moved. Mouse pressed. Mouse released. Mouse wheel movements. So along with that, so we have different methods. So getX gives the x coordinate of a point where the mouse is pointing, and getY gives the y coordinate value of the point where the mouse is pointing. GetPoint gives the x and y coordinate. So one more method, get click count, which gives the mouse number of mouse clicks or mouse click count. So next class is a key event class. So this key class event implements all the types of event generated by the keyboard. One is key pressed in the keyboard, key released, a key typed. So along with that, so it support different methods, say get key char. So it returns entered key, get key code, it returns ASCII value of the key pressed. To support this event handling, so we have different interfaces. Under that, say first interface, it is mouse listener interface. So this interface is with respect to mouse events, one type of mouse event. So name of this interface is mouse listener interface. It implements, or it has the abstract method or methods like say mouse clicked, mouse entered, mouse exited, mouse pressed, mouse released. So these are the event implemented by this interface. When you want to implement this interface, this type of or this listed methods, you need to implement interface called mouse listener interface. Next one is mouse motion listener interface. Again, another category of mouse events. uh, if you want to implement say mouse dragged or mouse moved methods or events, say you need to implement an interface called mouse motion listener interface. So it support mouse dragged and mouse moved. So next interface is key listener interface. If you want to implement interface events with respect to keyboard, you need to implement this interface. So this interface has three methods. One is key pressed, key released, key typed. So next very important topic, it is using delegation event model. So how you can implement so events with respect to or event model with respect to mouse event and keyboard event. So using delegation event model is actually quite easy. uh, how it is easy, just to follow these two steps. Implement the appropriate interface in the listener so that it will receive the type of event desired, that indicates that which event you want to implement. You have to write it, you have to write the code for that, and that part must be implemented. So implement the code to register and unregistered. So a part of the code is written to process the event, and that code must be registered, so using register method. Otherwise, when a particular event is generated, it will not be notified at all. So now the first event delegation model for mouse event. So you need to import say three packages. One is Java java.awt event, java.applet. The first part of the code, it is applet code. So applet code is equal to mouse event, that is mouse events is name of the class, which is written below. Width is equal to 300, height is equal to 100, and close that applet tag. Width and height of the applet window here. What is that applet window will show later. So next, we return say public class mouse event extends applet. So all the event classes must be the subclass of the class called applet. Why? Because we are implementing this event with the help of applet class. Now the mouse event is a subclass of class called applet. Now here we are implementing all the events with respect to mouse. For that reason, say uh, after the applet we return implements mouse listener and mouse motion listener. So we are implementing both interfaces. Now the string msg value is null initially. So value of two variable, that is the mouse x and mouse y is 0. To purpose of these two variable is to store the value of x coordinate and value of y coordinate value. Next is public void init. So this is the method from applet, initialization method. Under this method we need to register the event. No, okay. So add mouse listener and add mouse motion listener. So why? Because we are implementing both interfaces, that is mouse listener and mouse motion listener. For that reason we need to write those two statement for registration. Unless there is no registration, whatever the event generated, it will not be notified at all. So next part, so public void mouse clicked, this is one event which will be generated with respect to mouse. So now you need to write the code for that, or you need to implement it. So when a particular mouse is clicked, what to do? So here mouse x is equal to 0, mouse y is equal to 10, mh is equal to mouse clicked repaint. That indicates that when a mouse is clicked, it will display the message, what is that, mouse clicked, where in point called 0 comma 10. To display this, we are using repaint method will call paint again and again. That indicates when you click a mouse, paint will be called. What is that paint, we'll discuss later. Next is mouse entered. When a mouse cursor enter into the component, this event will be generated. Here it will display the message mouse entered in point 0 comma 10, repaint is called. Next, mouse exited. When a mouse exit from the component, it will display mouse exited. To display that, repaint will be called. uh, Public void mouse pressed. So the event will be generated when a mouse is pressed. So here we are using say get x and get y method to get the to extract the value of x and y coordinate, and along with that it will display down with the help of repaint. So mouse released, when a click mouse is released, it will display up message up, uh, and it will extract the x and y coordinate by using get x and get y. Next event implementation is mouse dragged. So again get x and get y method is used to extract the x and y coordinate value, and it will display star, where it will, okay, so it will value of image will be star, and it will display in the status window of the applet, dragging mouse at value of that is x and y coordinate value. Repaint will be called. Now, so next you can see the paint method of the applet. Say public void paint graphics g. So g dot draw string msg mouse x mouse y. So that draw string will display the content of msg in mouse x and mouse y. That is to that is point x and y coordinate value. So below the below whatever it, you can observe, see it is a mouse applet window, where it shows a down one of the particular event is implemented, and in the status window you can observe, say, moving mouse at 146 comma 51. That moving a mouse is a one type of event, so whatever we already discussed. And the point where it is moving in the applet window, it is nothing but 146 comma 51. You can observe the mouse cursor in the component of applet component. When you're moving the mouse, or when you're clicking, or when you're releasing, a event will be generated. When an event is generated, it will be notified, and it will be this code will process it with the help of different method, whatever we already observed, say clicked, released, dragged, moved, and all. So there, say, repaint method is called. That repaint uh, is nothing but you are calling this paint method again and again. When a particular event is called generated, it will be notified, and that event will call this paint to display the text. So next is handling keyboard event. So under this program we are discussing how keyboard events will be handled. The first part will be same, that is three. You need to import three packages, and you need to write the applet part, that is applet code is equal to simple key, width is equal to 300, height is equal to 100, that is the applet window size. Next, public class simple key extends applet, implements key listener interface. To implement keyboard events, you need to implement key listener interface. So next, value of MSG will be null initially, and value of X will be 10, value of Y will be 20. And init method of the applet. So under this you need to register the this key events. So here, say, three events are implemented, say key pressed, key released, key typed. Again, so some of the methods are shown in the status window. Status window is nothing but the bottom part of the applet window. And messages, a drawstring will display the content in the applet window. Show status will display the content in the status window. Show status will display the content in the status window. Status window is nothing but the bottom part of the applet window. Again, repaint method will call this paint method. Paint method, what that paint method will do, it will draw string, or it will display the string in uh, value specified by the x and y coordinate. So here you can observe, say, key up. Key up is nothing but the status window part. This is a test is nothing but content displayed in the applet window. Key up is displayed in the status window. This status window is used to display the errors, or if you want to give any information to the user, that you can display over the status window. So next part is adapter classes. So till now we discussed two events implemented with the help of event delegation model. So if you want to implement the interface, if you are implementing interface, you need to implement all the methods. Like, say, if you are implementing key listener interface, then you need to implement all those three events. So there is no option for that. So now instead of that, if you are implementing only one or two method out of three, then how to do? Then you can go for something called adapter classes. So this adapter class provide an empty implementation of all the methods in an event listener interface. That indicates that it gives all the empty methods. That is, open bracket is there, close bracket is there. That's all. Adapter classes are useful when you want to receive and process only some of the events that are handled by the particular event listener interface. So that indicates that when you want to process and implement and process very few events, then you can go for adapter classes. So this is one example. So here, so I want to implement only one mouse event, that is mouse clicked. If you are implementing interface, you need to implement all, no other option. So to avoid that's overhead, so we are using adapter class. So the name of the class is adapter demo extends applet. So under init method of applet, you are registering add mouse listener. So next, my mouse adapter extends mouse adapter. That mouse adapter contain all the empty definition of the events. So next, I am creating reference variable of adapter demo class. So next is it is the constructor of the my mouse adapter class. So now I want to call say show status method. When a mouse is clicked, it will call show status method of the applet. Now show status is a method of applet. Now to call that method, we need to use adapter demo. Adapter demo is nothing but object of class called adapter demo. Adapter demo is nothing but subclass of class called applet. Now using adapter demo, so you are calling show status. When that show status will be called when a mouse is clicked. So here we are implementing only one event, that is only mouse clicked. So next is inner class. How you can implement these events using inner class. So here my mouse adapter is present within inner class demo. That inner class demo is subclass of applet. Okay, inner class demo is subclass of applet. Init method is the method of applet. Under that event is registered. Now when a mouse is pressed, so it will call show status. Now show status method is called without any variable. Why because my mouse adapter is present within inner class demo. Inner class demo is a subclass of applet. Why? Because show status is method of applet. Now that show status method will be called without any reference variable or without any object. Why? Because my mouse adapter is present within inner class demo. That is the advantage of inner classes. So using this inner class, you can reduce the size of the program. So another example for inner class, it is anonymous inner class. So here no name for the inner class. So implementation will be same as the previous program, but so a little bit different is say whatever I written in the red color or the fonts which are in the red color are representation of the anonymous inner class. It is like inner class which is having anonymous name or no name is specified. So again show status method is present in the inner class. That inner class is present within anonymous inner class demo. So now show status method will be called without any reference variable or object of outer class. Why? Because outer class is a subclass of class called applet. So again the size of the program is reduced compared to the previous inner class. So it will be helpful in various way to implement the events. Thank you. So this is the end of the part 1 of the module 5, that is event handling. So next part will be swings, we'll discuss later. Thank you one and all.